Hi guys, right, I'm going to pull away after this one, yeah, that's good. Right. Welcome back to my channel, Velo Fan. So just in a minute we will be going through the market town of Wareham, and then we're heading on towards Corfe Castle, and then we'll have a look over from a lookout point over the natural port of Poole Harbour. Like old Henry Cole does, he sort of starts with where are we going today, tells you where you're going, and what, may I hear you ask, are we going on? But from my video you're going to know where we're going, and you're going to know what I'm going on probably, because all my little moto videos so far have been on my trusty Yamaha MT-09. Although in the summer, as soon as it warmed up and we haven't got salty shitty roads, I'm going to be out on my classic velo, and I'm hoping to do some videos on that, as I've never done any proper on board videos with that bike yet. I didn't have the camera back then, and I didn't really think about doing this whole stuff and posting YouTube videos. We're also going to pick up on a topic of the old cost of living crisis, because I want to touch on that during this ride. It gives me something to talk about, trying to find something that the viewers will engage with. So I'm always after comments really, so if I can pick a topic that's going to hopefully generate some comments, that's the old aim of the game, isn't it? So yeah, we'll ride through Wareham in a minute. I might as well say we've started just about now, as I see that sign there for Wareham Auto Point. Lovely little town this, and I'm going to title the video of this Glorious Dorset, because we're going to be riding through Dorset, and yes, it is glorious. There's a lot of amazing places to see. This is just going to be a short ride with some of the places that are worth seeing within Dorset, whether you live here or not. Right, so yeah, so this Wareham, as far as I'm aware, is a market town, which is really historic one as well. I think it's obviously been here a long time, this Wareham. And then in a minute, on the left hand side, you will hopefully see Wareham Quay. You might not get to see it, but yeah, it's just before this bridge we're coming to, yeah? And this is, I think this is called Wareham Causeway, I think, this straight bit after the bridge. But if you look over to the left through here, that is Wareham Quay. And that's a nice place to go, especially on a motorbike. Just chill out down there in the summer. Wareham Quay, very nice. Parking's very limited, so I tend to chuck the bike up on the old pavement there somewhere outside one of the establishments, because like say for cars there's a very limited amount of parking, and they probably get a bit chewed off if you're in the way. But you always can't win, can you, if you put it on the pavement and some pedestrian will come along the main, but deal with that. Yeah, so we're going across the causeway, right, and then I'm going to take you down some tiny back roads just in a second. We've got to turn down Nutcracker Lane, I think it's called. I think it's Stover or Arm, maybe it's actually Arm, and I think it's where this car's going, so let's turn down here. Yeah, Nutcracker Lane it's called. Oh, there's a car coming out, that's why he's waiting up. Any more coming? Can we get out of the way? Yeah, we can. Coming down this way, because although we could have gone the main roadway, there's like a Wareham bypass, there's another way you can go and all that to get to Corfe. This is much nicer. I like the old country lanes. It may make the video slightly longer than what you, the viewer, want to watch, and in which case you can skip on through to where we get to the old Corfe Castle bit or whatever. But that's up to you, isn't it? I just thought I'd come this way. It's a nicer ride, and it shows you a road that you may not be aware of, because like I say, I'm trying to actually share rides that I do so that fellow motorcyclists can pick up on a ride if it's of interest, or they might just want to see the Dorset countryside. So yeah, when we go past Corfe, I'm hoping you're going to glimpse it. Like I say, I'm not actually going to stop, and I'm not quite sure how much you'll see of it, but I know that it's up on a real nice sort of hill there, so I'm hoping that as we drive down through, you're going to notice the castle, well, the ruins of the castle, shall we say. And then we're going to spin off up the road that takes you to where there's a chain ferry between Sandbanks. I mean, it's like we're in the top 10 most expensive places in the world to live. Sandbanks and Studland. There's the beaches there at Studland. So, which if it's of any interest to anyone, there is a nudist beach there at Studland. The old nudist people go there or whatever. But we're not going to get as far as the chain ferry. We'll stop at a viewpoint because it's lovely, and it shows you Poole Harbour. I think you get to see the entirety of Poole Harbour, and if not, you get to see a big old massive chunk of it. And that Poole Harbour is, I believe, the second largest natural harbour in the world, but it may not be. But I believe it's the second, but if not, it's got to be in the top 10. So that's something of interest and quite a cool feature to have here in Poole and the Dorset area. This little roads I'm going down here, they're very popular with the cyclists, and I used to cycle down through here. Well, this guy is going to turn, so that's alright. Yeah, because it gets you off the main road, you know. It's a bit dodgy because some of this down through here is almost, yeah, I'd say single car width. You have to really be quite on your ball. And as a cyclist, yeah, you can feel quite vulnerable down through here. But I think it's just the fact that it's slower paced, even though it's actually a 60-mile-an-hour limit down here, which is yippee! If you've got the balls to do it on a motorbike, that is, like, but I probably haven't today, but there you go. Yeah, so the old cyclists like to come down through here, like I say, and it's a good little route. So that's another thing actually. You're probably unlikely to be watching my video if you're a cyclist. You wouldn't be probably looking at this for inspiration. But if you are a cyclist, come on down here, mate, because I'm telling you, move over, thank you, not, because he didn't bother. But it's quite gravelly, you see that in the middle, so a little bit sketchy. Yeah, right, so anyway, should we, I suppose we should talk about this cost of living thing, just because it's something I can move on to, although I could have perhaps focused more on the Dorset element, talking about all different places you can go and have a look at in Dorset, but I probably may need to do a little bit more research for that. So anyway, we'll go on the old cost of living jobby. So, topic, cost of living crisis, points of interest for discussion, open for discussion and comments on our little comments below pet on the video here. Has the cost of living crisis impacted you? Question number one. I'm pretty sure, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a millionaire or whatever it is, I'm pretty sure you're going to say the answer to that is yes. If you live in the UK, that is. Perhaps it's not the same elsewhere in the world, I'm not quite sure, the global climate, but yeah, we're talking about the UK, sorry, should have clarified that. I think the answer would be yes, because let's say you're a millionaire or whatever, you must have investments that obviously give you an income or whatever, and this cost of living crisis may have messed them up. So like I say, I think it's probably most people affected. It certainly affected me. So the next part of this sort of like, yeah, topic, points of interest, things to mention is, so if it affected you as such, in what way? But one thing I was thinking about, whether it had affected you in this way, is has the cost of living crisis affected your enjoyment of riding motorcycles? Because for me it slightly has. and that's because of the cost of petrol. Obviously the cost of petrol has risen like a fucking joke through this period, perhaps before even before the cost of living crisis thing, the petrol was just going up and up and up and up. So that slightly impacts, like I say, my enjoyment of riding motorcycles, because at the moment I'm using it for pleasure purposes rather than commuting, and so you've got to then make a decision. Do I want to go out for that ride for just a bit of fun when the cost of petrol is X, or can I not afford it, or can I not afford to maintain my bike? These are all things that the cost of living crisis might be denting your fun of motorcycling. So that's another one. Let's see if anyone can come up with some comments on that as to whether it has or hasn't. And of course, if it has, the old how do we deal with it? What's the best answer to that one? I'm slightly of a mind recently to feel like, well, perhaps we've got to change our opinion to cost of living crisis affecting us. Yes, but should we change it to who cares? Like, as in, is it such a big deal, which it is to me, that we need to be obsessed mentally with this issue that we're facing, or do we just want to go, screw it, we're just going to go out and ride, we're going to do whatever, and if that then means we can't eat fucking something that evening or whatever, then we'll do that. Is that the other way around it? Perhaps we can prioritise and make cutbacks on certain things. So that'd be interesting to hear people's thoughts and feelings and experiences. So then the next thing I was thinking about with this cost of living thing, because I don't follow the news, by the way, it's probably obvious from the way I approach the subjects I talk about, but I don't follow the news. Well, that was a hell of a fucking jump there, I was out of the saddle. Don't follow the news, so I'm not really up to speed. Oh, there, mate, let's try to shag the other cow, look, with his big horns. Whoa, hello. Got a bit distracted there. Big longhorn jobbies over there, look, big cows. Highland, I always think they're called Highland, don't they? Sort of Highland cows, longhorns. So yeah, I'm not really up to speed with why we've actually got this fucking more jumping out of the saddle jobbies. Well, we've got this cost of living crisis. A lot of people have blamed it on the war between Russia and Ukraine, I guess it is, isn't it? Which, if it is that's a fucking kick in the nuts, isn't it? Because why should all that shit affect us? But anyway, that's another topic, isn't it? Right. So people are blaming it on that a little bit, the old war. I'm not so sure, I think that must have some sort of impact. Alright, fuck this. Anyway, I'm going to keep on rambling, but just to make you aware, as we come down this hill that we're on here, you will hopefully see Corfe. But these trees are now in the way, so I'm a little bit worried you're not going to see it. But I can just see them there poking up through the trees. We're going to, I reckon you get a good glimpse of it here, okay? So looking up on that hill, there's your old tumbly down walls of the castle, Corfe Castle. You can go and visit that. I think it's probably a National Heritage Site or something of that kind of ilk. But that's the beauty in it. When you view that from the other side, like I'm obviously on this side at the minute, but when you view it from the other side, it's really cool. You can see it in like a bit of a valley, and it's it's cool. Right, we're now on the road up to the chain ferry, but like I say, we'll be stopping at the viewpoint and I'll just stand there and have a little bit of a peruse of the panoramic sort of view of the Poole Harbour. And yeah, this ride obviously will be quite short actually. I thought it was to be a bit longer than this, so that would be good for some of the viewers. Cost of living. So yeah, they're saying about the old Russia thing. That's a possibility, isn't it? Obviously that's gonna, because of the oil prices and all the rest of it, the fuel that I was on about, possibly that's the impact there. where I'm presuming we sourced a lot of our energy previously from Russia or oil, perhaps just oil, I don't know. But I'm inclined to believe that COVID's more of a factor in this cost of living crisis thing for two reasons. One, a lot of companies perhaps went out of business during that time, and that probably drove prices up, I suppose. I suppose less competition means opportunities for profiteering, isn't it? But kind of more than that, I feel that the government, after having paid out, must have been billions and trillions, I don't even know what the fucking maths is, but on people's wages, because we, you know, as a country we got furloughed, and it meant we were getting 80% of our wage for doing jack, you know, sat at home trying to avoid meeting up with people and all that, but we were getting obviously the 80% of our pay, so they had to pay that somehow. And I kind of feel like the cost of living crisis is just their way of getting their money back. I just kind of think, well, you know, how are they going to restock? How are they going to deal with the fact that they've had to pay out all that money? And I can only see it's one way, and that is taxing the fuck out of people. But so yeah, maybe that's, like I say, a bit of a real reason why we're having this cost of living crisis thing, is this the cost of COVID? Perhaps, don't know. There'll be someone watching this that's right into their news and political stuff. I try and stay out of it. But you know, I suppose, like I say, it's just that question of how does it impact us motorcyclists. I've got to be honest, you know, it even impacts me to the point of not just, like I say, even the whole thinking about how much the fuel was going to cost for me to come out and have a bit of a play. But the social element, like my last video was social events in Dorset for motorcyclists, which is fabulous thing to see, all the support and stuff there is for motorcyclists these days. We're not just long-haired nutcases, even though I am a fucking long-haired nutcase, but I mean, the motorcyclists are not viewed in that, you know, charm all the old black brush jobby. They're not, you know, nowadays there's acceptance by the pubs and what have you to get bikers in. But anyway, yeah, but that's what I'm kind of going around to in a long way, as per usual with my rambles, rider rambles. Yeah, I've also got to think about, do I want to go to that bike meet where obviously I will feel obliged to go and buy a drink within the pub, because that's, you know, they're hosting the event, they've got to get something out of it. That will then also inspire them to continue supporting the event. So yeah, so then it's like, you know, nowadays, perhaps this is again linked into the cost of living thing, for a pint of Coke, because I mean, you know, yeah, let's just go with that. I mean, I think you're probably talking £5, somewhere around that, £5. So it's another thing that I sort of end up thinking about, is like, oh, can I actually afford to go out and meet up with a load of bikers that I don't know? It's not, you know what I mean, it's a bit different if you're meeting up with your friends, but if you're going out for a blast and meet up with some randoms, like I say, I'm sort of trying to factor that into the equation of cost of living crisis. Can I actually afford to go and do that? So that's pretty shit, isn't it? And that is an impact of the cost of living crisis. The other thing I was thinking about this is how I feel that for like most of my lifetime, it seems like we've always been in some sort of fuck up situation. So the current one is this cost of living crisis. Before that was COVID. Before that, I remember we had this recession thing that kicked right in, and that was probably about, how long ago was that? I don't know, maybe it was 14 years ago, something like that. Oh, here we are. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to have to almost stop the video now. Fucking hell, it's short, innit? And this will be my viewpoint extravaganza. For those that are interested, and you'll get to see Poole Harbour. Now, yeah, unfortunately, let's turn the old bike off. Unfortunately, it's a misty day today, so perhaps you won't see all of its loveliness. But if you're looking out there, I'll just slightly turn this way, see the old sheep there, but I suppose where the tree line ends, the harbour starts. And I'll just slowly pan around, hopefully it's slowly and not too wobbly, and then you'll be looking at the natural thing of the harbour of Poole. You can see the sea out there where then it comes in for the narrow entrance to the harbour, and then that big island in the middle, that's Brownsea Island I think. There's a few islands out there, but I think that's Brownsea Island. You can go and do day trips to that. And that's about it for today. So as I always say, thanks for watching guys, and see you on the next one.